Breaking: pro-Trump Republican is trying to replace Liz Cheney as House Conference chair. Hello folks, my name is Jenna from Golden State Times. Welcome back to the newsroom, and today I have a breaking news story. This one comes courtesy of GoldenStateTimes.com, and it says, Jim Banks is the head of the House's GOP's biggest caucus. He is also earning another unofficial title, shadow chair of the House GOP Conference. It says that the Indiana Republican, who made no secret of his future leadership ambitions, has used his new platform as chief of the Republican Study Committee to build a messaging operation to compete with that of Representative Liz Cheney, the House GOP's current conference chair. It says that Banks' efforts to assemble a rival messaging machine is widely viewed by his colleagues as an audition for Cheney's job, which governs both communications and member services. It says that position may be available sooner than he expected, as tensions over Cheney's outspoken criticism of former President Donald J. Trump are once again at a boiling point inside the GOP conference, with some senior Republicans predicting that she'll be pushed out of leadership before the month's end. Banks, a veteran of the Afghanistan war, who has aligned himself closely with Trump, has raised his own profile since taking the reins of the conservative caucus earlier this year. It says, and the media-savvy 41-year-old is making clear that he views his RSC's communication shop as superior to the conference's formal Cheney-led hub. Banks described it as filling a void. So he is saying, yeah, hers is cool, but mine is better. And why is his better? He says because he believes in the America First agenda. And that is what's resounding with the rest of the Republican Party, as they see him as the real chair compared to Liz Cheney. So in an interview, Banks told reporters, quote, "We are in the minority, and this is a messaging battle as much as a policy battle. RSC is providing that framework better than anyone else on Capitol Hill." So he's taking a swipe at Liz Cheney. He's saying our communication team is way better than Cheney's, and we release our message and what we believe in way better than Liz Cheney does. It says, but replacing the highest ranking woman in GOP leadership with Banks or another male would be a major optics problem for a party that has made recruiting more women and minorities a key part of its strategy for winning back the House in 2022. Banks also insists that he's focused on the RSC chairmanship and would rather see Cheney become a team player than get the boot. Still, Banks' attempts to Bigfoot Cheney is only fueling speculation that he's a top candidate to replace her, whether it's this month or in the next session of Congress. So Banks said when asked whether he'd run for leadership, he said, quote, "If there's a role to play where I can continue to do what I'm doing at the RSC or as RSC chairman, I want to do it." He went on to say, quote, "The most natural comparison to RSC chair is conference chair. And that's something I think I would really enjoy because that is what I'm doing now." It goes on to say that even though Cheney's publicly split from most of her party when she voted to impeach Trump, her allies argue that she has continued to succeed in her leadership role by providing the conference with important messaging tools. Under Cheney's leadership, the GOP conference has sent out messaging emails every morning that Congress has been in session, in addition to a weekly email with shareable social media content focused on hitting the Biden agenda, according to a source who has seen those communications. But the thing is, this is the biggest thing. Cheney wants the GOP to bow down to Biden. That is her agenda, to make sure that the Democrats have no opposition, to make sure that Biden has a very timid and weak GOP against him, and that Biden has the best 4 years of his life. That is her agenda. And the rest of the GOP is starting to wake up and notice what she's doing and what she's saying and what she's fighting for. She's fighting for Biden, and she's also fighting for the Democrats, not for Americans, not for patriots, and definitely not for the GOP or conservatives. It goes on to say that Cheney's critics, who unsuccessfully tried to oust her from leadership in February, are growing even more frustrated by her readiness to call out Trump and his claims on the 2020 election. Days after drawing attention at a retreat, Cheney fist bumped Joe Biden before his joint address to Congress, further enraging her colleagues. It says even senior Republicans who had her back earlier this year, such as House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, have soured on her. It goes on to say that one senior Republican lamented that some donors will no longer contribute to the House GOP as long as Cheney is still serving in leadership. He said, quote, "It's a liability for us. Nobody wants to donate to the GOP, to the House GOP, because Liz Cheney is there, and the money is also going to go to her, Mitt Romney, and other rhino Republicans, and people do not want that to happen. That's why nobody is donating to the RNC anymore. They would rather save their money and donate directly to people like President Trump, like Ted Cruz, and others that might come up for re-election in the next coming years." It goes on to say that Banks, however, has earned high marks from Kevin McCarthy, and some Republicans think that the GOP leader has been grooming Banks for that post. It says the two have grown extremely close, and they've crisscrossed the country fundraising together, including Banks' hometown. And McCarthy, who stopped showing up to weekly press conferences with Cheney after they awkwardly clashed over Trump on February, appeared with Banks on a panel at the Conservative Political Action Conference, or also known as CPAC. So McCarthy told reporters, quote, I've been very impressed with what he has done as chair. He's talking about Banks in this situation. It says, after taking a whack at Cheney on the same interview, he said, quote, "He's really made the members rise to the occasion on different things, and that shows real leadership. It's not just policy," McCarthy added regarding Banks' skills. He's worked on communication. And I think that's the most important thing right now for the GOP, especially the House GOP, communication. They need to make sure that they have people in leadership that is going to get a good crowd going. It's going to pump up voters and supporters to go out and fight for these people that are running in different parts of the country. They need to make sure that they have America First patriots out there campaigning, routing up the grassroots, making sure that the grassroots is engaged. Because if they don't engage the grassroots to go out there and help them campaign, then the GOP has no future in 2022. But if they're able to pump up the grassroots, be able to fundraise correctly, then the GOP should pick up enough seats so they can get the majority in 2022. And it'll help them going into 2024. Now that President Trump has winked and said, you know what, I'm going to make you guys very happy. So let's stay tuned, see what's going to happen regarding Liz Cheney, regarding President Trump, and let's see if Banks is able to oust her and take over as House Conference chair. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I know this was a little bit of a long video, but thank you so much for making it to the end. You guys are awesome. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and you click that bell. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, folks. If you click the thumbs up button, you help us beat the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you click that thumbs up button. And if you are new to the channel, you subscribe and click that bell. Also, make sure you visit our website, goldenstatetimes.com, and you follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. But if you're on Parler or Gab, make sure you follow us at Golden State Times. and I will see you on the next one. Don't forget to share this video on social media. My name is Jen Goldstein, and I will see you soon. Peace.